I'm here to talk about zombie branding, which is something that was touched on slightly in one of the talks earlier this morning. But I think it's a really relatable problem for everyone here as technical writers, because we tend to be the terminological gatekeepers at the organizations. So I'm hoping you can identify with the problem of terminology that just remains undead and won't go away. So I'm here to report on my challenge to remove what is the stickiest term of all in an organization, the organization's name. So how did I end up on this mission? Well, my department had its origins as a startup that was taken over by a large corporate several years before I joined. And when I started, I was really confused reading all our materials. You know, what was this mess of confusing, interchangeable brand names? You really had to know the detailed history of the company to understand what was going on in any of the documentation. So here is my checklist of 6 tips for how you can drive rebranding in a reluctant organization. Tip 1, scope your problem. Now, at first glance, it might seem like a simple solution. You manage the documentation, you can control F, control place, everything that's in there. But then there's Confluence. Let's not talk about Confluence. But then there's screenshots. So you think, okay, I'm a technical writer, I'm really good at Photoshop, I can Photoshop things, and I know that's what you all thought, but there's way too many. So now you're making pull requests on the UI, but then you find there's strings you can't change in the user interface, like URLs and email addresses and the YouTube channel. So, there's also a legacy website. Your interns like to copy content from that legacy website. This is a huge tangled mess. Which brings us to step 2. Find allies and opportunities. There are other colleagues in your company that probably share your mission, like the ones retiring the old email addresses for security purposes. There are so many people that may share this, but they just think, not my problem. So you have to have an ear to the ground, and if you can coordinate on this mission, it will make it so much easier. So this brings me to step 3. Triage where the content can be retired. So in my case, we had a YouTube channel, and I was able to see from the analytics that we had very few views on a lot of the content. So we managed to very slowly close this channel, remove these videos, and only remake the videos that were getting a lot of hits. And this was great. They were really popular, and it was a huge success because we could have new branding and a really big splash about the content that we liked and was up to date. Step 4, look for unexpected variants of this branding. So in my case, I thought I was really good with regular expressions. I found all our platforms, I'd removed everything, I was sure the task was done. However, in a really ironic move, someone had decided to demonstrate how you should use a regular expression with the old brand name. Yeah, I find it so weird that my regex didn't get that one. I would recommend, if you really find a creative use of the old brand name, that you bring cookies or cake when you're killing these darlings, because people get really attached to their weird example that uses some old branding. Now, the single most surprising thing, maybe not surprising, was that a lot of the developers didn't know how to spell the new brand name. And also that one of them didn't know how to spell the old brand name. So one activity that I really liked was running a spelling bee anonymously on people's smartphones. That was kind of a fun challenge with interesting, difficult words that could kind of push them with a gentle reminder about how to spell these important terms. So I was really happy because our misspellings were dropping, but unfortunately not for all staff. There was surprisingly one new joiner who really liked the old brand name and out of some weird sense of solidarity wanted to keep using it. He promised he would stop if I bought him customized crockery. So guess who just ordered 100 euros worth of mugs with our new vocabulary? Look, I also printed a lot of posters. I used Git Blame to find out who's using the old variant. I instant message people. But my lesson is you have to be ever vigilant to really make sure it's not popping up again after you try to change your branding. So, in conclusion, I think it's gone. What I learned was, it's a thankless but weirdly satisfying task that was kind of satisfying some weird personal itch of mine. I now kind of hate our customers because they use the old branding and they're the people I can't control. And I'm really sorry for the future person who's going to have to eradicate my new use of this branding. And I'll leave you just with a few things on the screen where you might forget to look, but then years later, you'll find your old brand name here. Thank you very much.